Okay then, fam. Day 3. Wow. Day 3. What the hell was that? Seriously. What the hell was that? It's like it was just all over the shop. Yesterday was like games and games and games and games and games and games. And today it was largely talking and talking and talking and talking. It's like I got something like Owen Wilson here. Talkie, talkie, talkie. That's a really crass Owen Wilson impression. It's right up there with wow. Oh god, I'm not doing another impressions video. I did one of those a couple of years back. Look it up if you fancy it. Okay, but look at this way, right? They had lots and lots of different debates. A lot of them were on really interesting subject matters. The problem is the debates have no life, because it's hard to get a lively debate with people that have never met each other, who are not in the same room as each other. Now podcasters do this because this is, when you've done a lot of podcasts, you know how the rhythm is, you know how to listen to the other people, you get an idea how to work around lag, and it becomes a bit of a thing. Now admittedly, people who are not podcasters by professional choice, i.e. like YouTubers, have gotten better at this in the age of Zoom calls. But it still lacks life and authenticity to a large extent. Not completely, but enough where it kind of does matter. So you end up with a lot of talking shops that happen today, and it just becomes flat and becomes hard to really get into the meat and potatoes of the debates, because there's nothing to get hold of. There's no personality. And you get personality in most debates with most non-YouTubey type people when they're all in the same room together. I mean, I've watched many discussion on different aspects of gaming and different aspects of the industry at an E3 event. I mean, many times I've sat down and watched like dev interviews and stuff, because I find them interesting, because I'm hip deep in this stuff. Problem is, this year's E3, because a lot of people have ducked out of it, like EA ducked out of it, like Sony ducked out of it, and some other properties, then a lot of what you got today was talking shops. And there's nothing wrong with talking shops. In fact, they can be very useful. Unfortunately, when you have talking shop after talking shop after talking shop, and that is what happened a lot of the day, was a lot of blocks of talking shop, then you burn the audience out. It's bad programming. Just rubbishy programming. It could have been spaced out better. It could have been better if you had a talkie shop thing, then a game studio. Then you get another talking shop thing, and then you could have shown something else, another kind of feature, like a behind the scenes at a dev from when they're making a game, and then a talking shop, and then another keynote. Space them out, ESA, space them out. But no, the ESA thinks it's God, and it can put talking shop after talking shop after talking shop, and the flow is just destroyed. And then when you consider a lot of what you put on today, E3, nobody cared about. Nobody wanted a 45-minute Verizon commercial, right? Least of all, an outside of North America audience. You've got the globe watching, okay? But Verizon is a telephone company, or a telecommunications company I should say, from North America, and because of the fragmented nature of America's telecommunications network, they're not everywhere. They're only in a lot of places. They're not in all places. Because what generally tends to happen in America, as I'm given to understand, is a telecommunication company gets into a town and they buy that town out, and there is no fight between the different companies. Like here on this poxy little island, we've got Virgin, we've got TalkTalk, we've got BT, we've got we've got giffgaff. There's about a good dozen or so, maybe more, telecommunications companies. Some of them dealing just with internet stuff, some of them dealing just with mobile, some of them dealing with everything, that want your money, and you try to like offer better deals than the others, you know. And a lot of them are built upon the network that was already pre-existing from back in the day, that was set up when the nation's main telecommunications provider was state-owned, i.e. British Telecom. You know, and some of that existing network is still in place, and you know, a lot was built upon that. You know, there's something to be said for state ownership of utilities such as telecommunications networks. So you have this company going, hey, look at us, we do all these fancy things with data and blah 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 blah, and it's like, and the audience is typing out like mad, and I could see it in the comment section, because the comment section was more fun than the actual talk. It's like, because basically it was like a 45-minute advert, and people was going, where's the games, what's this doing here, I didn't want a 45-minute advert. It's like, what is this all about, what is this nonsense, you know, where's the skip button, over and over and over again. That was one of the biggest comments of the day, where's the skip button. Wow, people really held on to that. Let me encapsulate how bad this E3 has been today. If you look at the E3 channel on YouTube and their stream for today, it is overwhelmingly downvoted. There are more downvotes than there are upvotes. The public hated today, and I can understand why. I mean, okay, yes, there were some bright points. I mean, there was a couple of interesting bits here and there, but by and large, a lot of it was not what the vast amount of the gaming public would want. Alright, for guys like me, who were, as I've stated before, are heavily invested in games culture, you know, and the industry at large, and, you know, all the ins and outs of it. But a lot of people don't care about the diversification, you know, of the gaming market, and fairness in the workplace, and looking out for, you know, LGBTQI plus members of the community, both in the work and at home playing the video games. They don't care about, you know, grants given to students from large companies. I mean, that's like Verizon comes in and goes like, we're giving $1 million to like 6 students. It's like, and it's 1 million to be shared amongst them, and all female students, to help them like get a career, and also like a placement with Verizon. Verizon is a massive company with extraordinarily deep pockets, deep enough pockets to be able to change the course of American governmental procedure so that the goodness that was net neutrality could be absolutely torn up and chucked in the bin. Because they've got their own guy, Ajit Pai, into the FCC, who basically got in there and destroyed net neutrality. So they're not a great company, and that's a tiny amount of money for that purpose. That money could be well bigger. It's basically just go, hey, look at us, aren't we great? When they're not. In fact, if you talk to any American people, they'll tell you, all of them, no matter what telecommunications provider they have, they'll all tell you that their telecommunications provider is rubbish. And the main reason they're rubbish, as I stated back before, is because there's no competition in any given area. all the telecommunications companies in North America, they hold one area, and that's it. And there's no competition within that area, so it stagnates. And then, we did get some shows, and it was like, and it just seemed to be that what was shown, there wasn't really a lot to get hold of. Yeah? I mean, easily the biggest culprit today of spoilt promise was Capcom. All throughout the day, as it was going into talking shop to talking shop to talking shop, in the comments section, people would be like, "When's Capcom? When's Capcom? Capcom will save us," said a few people. And I knew Capcom wasn't going to save it, because I knew that a lot of things that people wanted to see from Capcom was not going to be there. There wasn't going to be any Mega Man. Please. They've scrapped Mega Man. They've just not said it, but they've scrapped it. I mean, hello, Mighty Number 9. Oof, that left a stink, didn't it? It's like, do you think you're getting another Sleeping Dogs? Dream on. It's like Deus Ex? Nah. And I could go on like that all day. It's like so many great Square Enix projects from the past that are never happening again. Not unless there's a massive change in leadership. And it's just like, and what did they do? They came out and went, like, here's Resident Evil 8, and here's some of the things we want to do for Resident Evil 8. Yeah, so this is a game that's already out. Here's some stuff from Monster Hunter. Now, admittedly, Monster Hunter is hugely successful, so add-ons for it are great. But they really spun out and spent far too long showing, saying, "Ooh, look at this fighting sequence, blah," and give it a bad title, and big orchestral piece, and here's some bits of add-on to the game. All that could have been done in half the time. And here's the kicker of it, right? They did so much mucking about and not really saying much of anything, which does seem to be very much the theme of this year's E3. Loads of time, not much said. All right, but basically they got in there and went like, "Ah," and then they did a recap video showing everything they just shown from the previous 25 minutes. It's like, what? It's like Capcom didn't understand they had the floor. I mean, if they'd looked at the schedule, they would have seen that a lot of people were gonna have been bored stupid, And there are some of you out there who go, "Well, that's the general public. The general public are rubbish." Everybody knows, the public. It's like, and what people want from E3 is but games, and what a lot of people forget about E3 is E3 started as, and is, and will ever remain, at its heart, a trade show for the industry. So you're gonna get talking shops, and I'm down with that. But your average gamer in the street, isn't he? And doesn't he understand that? And all they rarely remember from year to year to year is the games they got to see and didn't get to see. So when they don't get to see a lot of games, and it's a tighter affair where there's not so much preamble and all the rest of it, then they expect to see more games. And especially when you have yesterday, when there was a butt ton of games, when you show next to nothing today, then you not only have you sent out a confused message, but you've also sent out a contradictory message. So of course the whole stream gets more downvotes than it does upvotes. But the only real bright spark, and this is a low bar, is when Razer came on. Because at least when Razer came on, even though the guy did reiterate his points a lot, he was engaging, he was enthusiastic, and he actually showed actual tangible things that, that you can soon buy or pre-order or buy now. Like he showed a 14-inch laptop that you can go out and buy now. It was live to buy online, as he said. You can buy this online now. I mean, those are golden words at E3. It's available now, or it's available at least tomorrow. I mean, we all remember the Bethesda conference from years ago for Fallout 4, and they said, and it's available. I forget when it was. It was like at the end of the week or something. And everybody, you know, and we all went and pre-ordered it. I mean, hey, up there is my Pip-Boy. I love my Pip-Boy. It's like, and yeah, I tried my phone in it. But this is what I'm saying. It's like the messaging of E3 these last 3 days has been absolutely all over the place. And then they ended it with more talking shops. And to be honest, even as someone who loves all this stuff, I was getting swamped in it. I was like, I don't know how many people I could listen talk about things, you know? Even though I have an interest in a lot of what they're talking about. I was losing interest. And the only thing that kept me in it was making sure that I could inform you guys. Because I want to be able to do a good job as a YouTuber and make sure that you're informed. But honest to God, it's like, I just wanted to watch something else. You know, I mean, I'm currently working my way through the more 4-player, and I'm working my way through the West Wing. And admittedly, I'm loving it. I'm about halfway through season 4, and oh my God, I forgot how good that show was. I've not watched it since it was originally broadcast, but I would have rather done that. You know, it's like, I don't understand what was going on with the scheduling. It was ridiculous. It's like, fine with the talkie shops, just space them out with other content in between. And like, Capcom, seriously, when you come to E3, although your production values were nice and your presenter, she was on point, you've got to have something more than stuff we already know about and some additional DLC for it. You need to bring us new and interesting, because this is the world stage. This is the Electronic Entertainment Expo. This is where this is the big show. This is the big game. Oh, it hurts. It hurts. It hurts. I mean, why? Why did you put on most of the stuff you've put on today in the order of which you put it on? I can understand why you did what you put on, but it's the order in which you presented it. And then for you, for most of the games companies that have come out in the last 3 days and put up stuff, why have you decided to show some of the things you decided to show? Absolutely baffling decision making from a content point of view. You know, I mean, like, I appear to be the only person apparently online that actually enjoys the Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy. I mean, Dreamcast guy hated it. But, you know, horses for courses. You know, we all like what we all like. But yeah, I will admit that it did go on a bit too long. I mean, yes, it was nice seeing so much of the game and really getting a solid idea of what that game is about and how it's going to control and stuff. But it could have been a lot shorter. And that seems to have been, so far this year, I mean, there's only 1 day left, you know, that could be a thing. A bit more condensing, you know. Everything's too long, too drawn out. Or it's too short. Yeah, that doesn't seem to be anybody out there to be able to strike a happy medium. And it just seems like this year's E3 is a bit of a wasted opportunity. We didn't have an E3 last year. This was a chance for them to come out and go, okay lads, look, we're limited in our scope, but that means we can really focus things down. And in a lot of ways they've done. There's been nothing this year that's been late. Everything has been smack on time, which is beautiful. But then what they've put out has just left everybody cold. I mean, even Microsoft, with their incredible 30 games in your face demonstration, the presentation itself was kind of lifeless, you know. chock full of stuff, but fundamentally lifeless. It's like, E3, have a word with yourself, seriously. Something needs to be done, and it needs to be done soon, because I think the audience fairly soon is going to start to lose faith, and viewing figures are going to drop, and if viewing figures continue to drop, then you won't get advertisers. If you don't get advertisers, you can't put on the show. One company I am going to put on notice, Sony. Seriously, next E3, please, I'm begging you, come to E3. Sprinkle your Sony magic on that main stage and wow us. Because we need the big guys. We need E3, we need Sony, we need Microsoft and Bethesda with separate conferences. We need those big meaty conferences. And even Ubisoft, you know. We need the big guys to be there doing big things. And we need them to be in competition with each other. We need a show. Yeah? We need something to get excited about. Because let's face it, these last couple of years, we haven't had that much to get excited about. You know? I mean, yeah, we all got excited about next gen systems. I mean, you know, I've got my PS5, my mate Colin's got his Series X, you know, and I've got a couple other mates who have got themselves a 5 and stuff. And it's like, but a lot of people can't get excited about them because they know they're not going to get hold of one. And it's getting worse and worse because apparently there's another strain of Voldemort kicking off in the Far East. Woohoo! The tiger economies are screwed again. And then there's the ever elasticating, stretching story of a shortage of silicon. It's like, so it's going to take even longer for people to get like 9th gen systems. And I know why you're not prepared to put out all the stories about all the big games and games that are centered towards the current gen, because if there's not enough current gen systems out there, then why are you going to make games for them? Because those games take money to make, and if you're making the games for those systems but there's not enough systems out there for them for the sales, then it's not financially viable for you to make the games for those systems. I get that, but something's got to be done. And I know, yes, they've talked about the idea of a redesign of the innards of the 5 and of the. I think they've also said something about the X as well, although I'm not sure about that. Is how much more can they really do? You know, I mean, really, how much more can they actually do? I mean, they spent, you know, like, what was it, 5 years figuring out how the 5 was going to be put together. Probably the same for the X and the S. Actually, probably slightly longer because I had to figure out how to make the two systems do all the same jobs, but one being significantly lesser than the other. But yeah, I'm loving E3 and it's great to have all this gaming stuff at me, but today definitely was underwhelming. My whelm was sufficiently undered. But we press on with tomorrow, and tomorrow should be more interesting. Yeah, I mean, we got the Nintendo bit for one. Yeah, we got. I don't know if I'll stick around and watch the awards. I think I might just bounce on the awards and get straight to the roundup video. But if you're in the comment section and you've hung in this long, you let me know down in that comment section. Do you want me to watch the awards and comment on the awards as well? Or do you not think it's worth it and you don't think that's really part of what E3 coverage should have in it? If you don't say anything, then I'll just not bother with it and I'll go ahead with the plan. But if you guys want it in significant numbers, like say if let's give it a significant number, because my videos at the moment generally tend to average about 40-50 views. Let's say if 20 of you comment that you want me to, you know, stick around and watch the awards section and comment upon it, then I shall. But you better get on it quick, because by the time I come to do it, you know, I won't be able to see the video, see the comments of the video, because I'll be busy watching E3 for you guys. Okay, I think I've gone on a bit longer than I meant to, so I'm going to love you and leave you. So you know the drill. Hashtag support Scottish YouTubers, and of course, as always, aye, nae bother.